An ambulance on its way to an emergency in Plymouth collided here in this intersection on Cherry Street when it collided with two other cars, leaving 6 people severely injured. Just moments ago, a Bridgewater State student was found unresponsive in his dorm room. Officials are still investigating the cause of this. We will have more information as it becomes available. For now, live in Bridgewater, Breanna Gustafson. West Bridgewater police and rescue teams are searching for a missing man, a 53-year-old out of West Bridgewater, Thomas Stone, who has been missing since Sunday. Authorities believe that he may be in the West Bridgewater State Forest after finding his abandoned car. And it was right here at the Taunton Mall where a man stabbed 3 people to death last night before he was shot down by an off-duty officer. He also left several others injured. Just hours ago, a Quincy College professor was found dead in her apartment. What we know right now is that she has been stabbed 34 times. The Shebeen will be Boston's iconic float this year in the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Although these black bags are supplied at most dog parks, one dog park at a local apartment complex is taking extreme measures to make sure dog waste is being picked up. It was an emotional reunion today at Logan Airport as students returned home from a mission trip in Ecuador. The group was working with a local church in Ecuador when the 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck on Saturday. The students were staying several hours away and were all reported safe.
We were upstairs and they just started shaking and we were just, so we just hear the kids scream, get outside, and we all just booked it. And when we get to the door, it just got to the worst of it.
Parents tell News Center 5 that it's a feeling of peace having their children back on solid ground.
Incredibly excited. I don't know if I'm more excited or relieved. It's probably pretty much a toss-up at this point, but it's a feeling of peace and knowing that God took care of these kids as they were going through what they went through, and we've heard a little bit of the story that my daughter had to tell from when the moment happened, but I'm excited to hear more on the car ride home.
So blessed to find out that they were okay, that they went to higher ground when the threat of a tsunami was in place. And
Opiate addiction is real, and tonight its effects were heard in the Bridgewater Rainham High School auditorium. Residents and parents came out to hear about how close to home this actually is.
Heroin addiction occurs in our urban areas, our suburban areas, and our rural areas. It doesn't have a zip code.
And that is the point officials drove home on Monday night, where members of the Bridgewater community learned about the crisis and its risk factors.
Well, the problem is a community problem, so to make community awareness is probably the most important thing.
The BR School District partnered with BSU to host the first in a series of forums.
We're doing here as a district, as a school, because we do have a social responsibility to educate folks on this epidemic.
The number of overdoses in the U.S. is increasing rapidly, affecting all ages and races. And Dr. Dan Hughes suggests a strong correlation between overdoses and the large number of prescription drugs issued annually.
We have to be worried about prescription medication and where that can lead us, and the terrible stories that we hear of people who use prescription meds and they're using them in the wrong fashion, and before you know it, they may be hooked on heroin and they're going down the wrong path.
Plymouth County District Attorney Tim Cruz focused Monday's presentation on student athletes and parents, identifying several signs of addiction, which could include secretive behaviors, lying, and eventually stealing. If you are a parent who suspects drug abuse, officials ask you to join in the fight. Investigate your child's text messages, social media accounts, and check their bedrooms for suspicious pills, extreme measures that may be needed to fight for their lives.